Now, the Ukrainian ambassador to the UK has been dismissed, apparently without reason, by the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. The ambassador has been critical of Mr Zelenskyy's approach before, speaking on the president's sarcasm during a row over his weapons demands with Kay Burley just last week here on Sky News.
Was your leader being a little bit... Was there a hint of sarcasm in his response yesterday?
I believe it was responded by a little bit of sarcasm on President Zelensky's term when he said that each and every morning he will wake up and call Ben Wallace to thank him. I don't believe that this sarcasm is healthy. We don't have to show the Russians that we have something between us. They have to know that we are working together. If anything happens, Ben can call me and tell me everything he wants.
Meanwhile, the White House has confirmed that Ukraine has started using US-provided cluster bombs on the battlefield. More than 100 countries have banned cluster munitions, partly because the explosive bomblets can remain undetonated in civilian areas. Well, joining me for some analysis, retired Air Vice Marshal Sean Bell. Sean, great to see you as always. Let's talk about this Ukrainian ambassador to London's being fired. Could the reason solely be that bit of sarcasm with Kay, or does it have to be something more than that?
Well, up front, we don't know. I mean, Prystaiko has been in post since 2020, so he's been a long-established ambassador, and it's quite a surprise announcement he's been sacked. No reason's been given, but normally the sort of background to these is one of two reasons. Either somebody like that has done something that's risks embarrassing Ukraine itself, but there's no evidence whatsoever, I should say, that that has happened. The other option is that there was friction, and as you say, with the Kay Burley interview, now he was slightly critical of President Zelenskyy, particularly around his response to the Ben Wallace line about the Amazon bit, but it hardly looks like a sacking offence when you look at it in the cold light of day. But it is worth remembering there's incredible pressure on President Zelenskyy at the moment. He's undoubtedly just waiting. He will be boiling every now and again. And it is worth remembering that ambassadors, although they represent Ukraine, they do live in the UK, become increasingly have an empathy with the UK line. And undoubtedly, President Zelensky's decided it's time for some fresh blood in that post.
And there was a bit of a clash, as you said, at that NATO summit between Wallace and Zelenskyy. Let's touch quickly on the cluster munition news. I mean, we knew they were being sent there, so I guess not a huge development that they're being used, but it is something that's banned by 100-plus countries.
Yes, as you say, we expected to be there. What's quite surprising is how quickly they're actually managed to get from the US, thousands of miles away, and actually start being used. But they are 155mm rounds. The Ukrainians are used to firing those. Exactly as you say, they're quite controversial, but defence seniors have been very quick to point out that Ukraine has been burning through 155mm rounds. It's running very shorter supplies, although the West is trying to generate new supplies. That takes time, and of course Ukraine is on its spring offensive at the moment. The US holds massive stocks of these cluster munition 155mm rounds, so it's been designed as an interim step, but as you say, incredibly controversial.
Sure, as ever, thanks so much.